And we are live. So, can you guys hear me? Just type it in the chat section if you can hear me or not. And tell your friends to join the stream as soon as possible. Okay. So I got one message. Okay. Let more people join, then we'll start. Okay, so let me post it on Twitter as well. Looks like people are waiting exactly for 4 p.m. Let's see if people join or not, or I may have to cancel the stream if nobody's joining today. Let's wait for a few minutes and then we'll see. Okay, 2-3 people have joined. Tell your friends to come quickly, then we'll begin. Let more people join. Currently we only have 3 viewers right now. Looks like people are enjoying their Sunday today. So the topic of today's live stream will be the how to catch stocks right at the beginning of the stage 2, and how to identify if a stock is currently in the stage 1. And I'll be sharing the examples which I caught recently, and the ones I'm currently looking at, and few of them which I'm currently holding. So looks like nobody is coming today. It looks like nobody is coming today. Let's see. Let's wait for a few more minutes, then we'll see if we should continue the stream or not. Okay. Hi Vivek bhai. Hi the invincible guy. Okay. The issue is very few people are there, right? Only 4 of you guys are here. Let's see. Should we start anyway? Just type in the chat section, then I'll begin. Just with you 2-3 guys. Okay. So let's start. Let's begin this stream. Okay, so the main topic of today is, as I said earlier, I'm repeating myself, that how to catch stocks right at the beginning of the stage 2, or how to identify the stage 1 formations. Okay. And before going into the topic, let's just take a look at the Nifty, how it performed, and the overall market, how it can behave in the coming week. Okay, uh, except that news, I don't think so that 2000 rupee news is gonna have any effect on the stock market. So let's for now let's ignore that. Okay, so let's first look at the Nifty 50 chart. As you can see, after this huge decline, from not a huge decline, from around after this decline from last few months from December 2022, it reversed in March, and since then it has been in an uptrend, right? It has been the overall market, not only the Nifty, overall market, the mid caps and the small caps are also in a good uptrend since March. So there was this some bit of consolidation, and here the market started falling from last 3 days. As I said earlier, I posted on Twitter as well. The main screener that we discussed in the last live session, from where I identify the stocks which I want to buy. So the list of stock fell from around 220 stocks to around 170. So that is telling you that the market breadth is getting weaker. But the Friday's candle was very interesting, right? After three consecutive downward candles, there was a good reversal from the 21-day moving average. So there is a so now we have this pivot right here at the bottom of this particular candle, which also coincides with the small consolidation here. This particular consolidation here, it also coincides with this reversal candle. So now we have a new pivot, right? I'm just using the example of Nifty 50, right? We'll go through other sectoral charts as well. So we'll be using this candle's bottom, right? Okay, this low of Friday as the pivot. So if the market breaks this low, then that means there is a possibility of a correction, slightly, a slightly deeper correction, like to 17,500 something, or below that level. But on Friday it formed a reversal candle after the three consecutive day down move. So there is also a possibility that market may start its upward journey again. So this is a very important pivot, the low of the Friday's candle, right? So you guys can hear me, right? Just type in the chat section. Okay, yeah. So let's get to the topic of today, right? So a brief overview of the stages. I'll use this example. Okay, the Mastech, it's beautifully all the stages are formed on this particular chart. So if you don't know about what the stage analysis is, I've already made a video. I'll just paste the link of that video in the description. And for the overview, so uh, you must have heard the name of the Stan Weinstein, a very famous trader, one of the legendary traders. So he gave a concept of like the market moves in stages, right? So that is also based on the originally the this concept of market moving in stages, or the cycles, was given by the Richard Wyckoff, who explained that the market moves in stages. So there's an accumulation stage, and after that there's a markup stage, and then there's a distribution stage, and then there's a markdown phase. So, and between this markup and markdown phase, there is reaccumulation and redistribution. So that is the broad overview, and that is what on like this was the original concept by the Richard Wyckoff, and the stage analysis is like based on that concept only. Like the market moves in four stages: the stage 1, the stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. And we'll be using the weekly chart and the 200-day moving average for that. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so we have this example right here in front of us, right? So this is the example of the Mastech, right? You must have heard the name of this IT company, mid-cap IT company, Mastech. So as you can see, so it is clearly showing you the whole cycle that I was talking about. The market moves in cycles, right? So this was the accumulation cycle, right? So the stock was in a kind of a downtrend from April 2018, and there was this corona fall, right? But again, if we ignore this event, because it was not usual, it was kind of an unusual event. So this was a kind of a accumulation, and after that the market started going up, and it went up from around for this 400 something level to around 3400 level. So that was a rise of around 700% rise, right? And after that it formed the stage 3, or what we call the distribution, right? So as you can see, after making this top, it kind of started consolidating in a range, and then the price went below the 200-day moving average and broke this particular support area, and after that started declining. And now again, if you see, the price has been again started consolidating in a particular range from last few months. So this was the low formed back in November 2022, and after that the price has been just simply consolidating in this particular range. And now again it is showing a bit of uh, reversal right here. If you see, it gave a breakout, it crossed the 200-day moving average. So how you can catch these in the real time, that is the question, right? So hindsight analysis is very easy, right? So how you can catch these in the real time? So for that, first thing is that you need to go through the charts manually, right? So but again, as I repeated sorry as I said in the last class, like there are 6-7 thousand charts, right? You can't go through every single one of them, right? So we need a kind of a shortcut. So again, the charting this website comes to our rescue, and I have formed this screener from stage 1 to stage 2 screener. So what is my criteria here? So this is my basic criteria. First, the stock price should be above 20 rupees, right? I don't want to pay trade penny stocks. So let's change this certain criteria to 40, right? I don't want to trade any stock that is below 40, and I need the market cap to be greater than 100, right? So how to how to catch this particular criteria, right? The stock should be moving from stage 1 to stage 2, right? So for that, first you need a weekly close. The current weekly close of the EMA will be using 30-week EMA, right? So for the charts we'll using just 200-day moving average, but here for this particular criteria I'm just going with the standard Stan Weinstein 30-week moving average, right? Wait a second. Yeah, so first we need the latest weekly close. That is, the latest weekly close should be of the EMA should be greater than the last week EMA. So that means the EMA should be started rising above, right? So again, next criteria is the weekly close should be greater than the weekly close 4 weeks ago, right? So we are just taking the criteria. The current week close should be higher than the weekly close that was 4 weeks ago, right? Again, a month, we can say a month, right? So this month's close should be higher than the previous month's close, right? So that means the stock price is going up, that is telling us, right? So then on the monthly, I have added one more criteria, that the current monthly close should be below the close 12 months ago, right? So we need to catch a stock in a stage 1, right? So that means the stock should be in a decline from at least last 1 year, right? So what this particular criteria means is that the current monthly close should be below than the last close of last 12 month ago, right? You're getting what I'm trying to say, right? And the last one is the weekly EMA should be greater than the close of the EMA 4 weeks ago. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can just type in the chat, and I'll check them, right? So what I've told till now is clear, right? Just type in the this chat section. I'm just waiting for your responses. Okay. So yeah, so continuing this, so that is what I have set the criteria. So if I run the scan, you can clearly see what kind of stocks this particular scan is catching. So first, on the top we have the Mastech, right? So the chart that I have opened, and it gave a kind of a breakout from the accumulation, this accumulation region. It gave a breakout on Friday, right? And then we have the Hindustan Oil Exploration. So let's just look at what's common in between these names, right? Hindustan Oil Exploration, right? Yeah, again if you see again similar thing happening. The stock was in a decline, not that, yeah, not that steep decline, right? The stock fell around 40-50%, right? So that is a decent decline. We just need a decline of more than around 30%, right? To consider that the stage 1, stage 2, something like that, right? So it was in a decline, right? So again the it was kind of consolidating from last few months in this particular range, and then there was this shakeout, which after which price quickly came back up and started rising, and then there was the 200-day moving average breakout, and again the price started heading higher. So again it looks like the price has already moved into the stage 2, right? And if you look at the other stocks like Birlasoft. So if we look at the Birlasoft, again the Birlasoft is also showing the same story, right? So the whole IT sector was in the decline from last 1 year at least, as you all must have you know all must know this, right? So again the price fell around 56%, as you can see. So this was the kind of a bottom that was made around here, this particular level, and it was forming a broader range here, if you see, from this 330 level to around 253 level, and then there was the reversal, and then there was the earnings gap up, right? Earnings gap up, the price crossed the 200-day moving average, and now it is at the this broader resistance area, right? This one and this one, right? Yeah, it has already tested this area twice, and now again the price is at that area. So there is a potential of beginning of the stage 2, and currently the price is in the stage 1. And look at the volume, look at the volume bars, like look at this volume bar, look at this volume bar, and look at this volume bar, meaning that there are huge big hands, the institutions are entering the stock, right? Again if you see during this shakeout as well, look at this particular shakeout, and look at the volume combining this shakeout. So that was also an earnings event, right? And after that also the price literally never broke this particular low, this the low of this particular shakeout, and the price tested this particular level twice, but again it after that it started moving up. Then there was this particular earnings gap up, and then there was the volume spike, and now the price is again at the resistance level. So that means there's some bit of activity happening, like the big hands are interested, and as a retailer, as a weak hand, we need to be where the big hands are, if in order to make money. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so your question is in stage 2 when to add the stock. If we didn't catch the stock in beginning of stage 2, then any other in stage 2 to get. Yeah, you can get in a particular stock at any time in stage 2. That means because the stage 2 is your typical uptrend, right? So you, during the uptrend, the stock will give you multiple entries. Like suppose let's just look at this particular example, right? We'll be using the weekly chart. Okay. So this was, oh, we can say this was the its previous stage 1 formation, right? And after that, this particular area, after this particular area, the stock started its upward trend. So again, during the stage 2, there will be many instances of reaccumulation, right? So if you see this particular area, the price was just consolidating, you could have entered here, right? And after that, there was this particular consolidation again, you could have easily entered once the price crosses that particular resistance level, right? So there are many you can get many instances when the stock is all once the stock is already at the stage 2, you can even catch it in the middle, right? So so that is not an issue that you need to catch the stock at right at the beginning. But if you are able to catch the stock at right at the beginning, right, so that is more beneficial, right? So it's clear, I suppose, right? So I've formed a list of these particular stocks that I have traded, and I'm actively trading few of them, and some of them I've got from this particular scanner, like this. Just look at the Globus Spirit, right? Globus Spirit came into the scanner on Saturday, not Saturdays, I mean Friday, right? If we look at the Globus Spirit, I have this particular stock in my watch list as well. Again, if you see the price declined around 58-60% from the top, right? So there was this bottom formation that was going on from last few weeks. Again, if you see, there are 2-3 things that you need to keep in mind while catching a bottom, right? So if we go to the daily chart, if we see so let's suppose after a steep decline, we just need to find an area where the price has been taking multiple supports. So this was the our area where the price was taking support. It bounced back here and it bounced back here and again, but that particular area was broken. So now we need a new particular low from where the price bounces back above. So this was the area from where the price bounced back, right? So this was the particular area from where the stock bounced back, and again it went up and faced the resistance near the 200-day moving average, right? This particular area, and after that it again started coming down, and again it bounced back from this particular area and again near that area. But with that, this was the final low, and after that, if you notice closely, the price started forming higher lows, even though the price was forming lower highs, right? So this particular high is lower than this particular high, but again at the same time the price started forming higher lows, and this was the area where the price also facing resistance at this particular level, around this particular level. But again it started making higher lows, and then there was a very good breakout. Look at the breakout here, right? Because this was a kind of a trend line resistance, and the price also spent considerable time around the 200-day moving average before moving up. And look at the breakout after which happened after that. So this is the typical area, like the earliest entry point that you can get once you have identified a complete bottom formation. So once the price is crossing that particular level, so that is the area where you should be entering to catch the biggest move possible. Yeah, I will share the screener in the description as well as the current scanner. Yeah, so as you said, Vivek, also I've read somewhere that the 30-week moving average should be sloping up at least for the 1 month. So that is why I've entered this particular criteria in the screener. If you see, the weekly close should be, this particular criteria where the current weekly close should be higher than the weekly close of EMA last week, right? And again, this 4 week scenario right here, the current close should be greater than the close 4 weeks ago. So that is the bilkul conservative criteria that the EMA should be sloping above, right? But again, we are trying to modify the rules a bit, right? Looking at the examples, right? Again, if I give you another example of this Finolex Industries. So if you were waiting for the MA to slope up for at least 1 month at least, right? So again, the price during that period, the price already moved considerably from that particular point. Again, if you see from if we take the example of this Finolex Industries, right? I'll be using just the weekly chart. So the price declined from around this particular level of 238, and there was a 50% decline in the price, and the price went below the 30 this 200-day moving average or the 30-week moving average, whatever you like. You can use any of them, right? So again, as I said, we need to identify a particular bottom area. So let's suppose this was the bottom area that we have identified, because there was a very sharp activity happening here, right? So again, after that the price went up, faced resistance at the 200-day moving average and came down, and again it was hovering above the the lowest point that we have identified, right? And again started going up, faced resistance at the 200-day moving average. But one thing you'll see, one thing that you need to notice is that how the what is the shape what is the shape of this 200 moving average, right? Is it sloping downwards? Is it sloping upwards, or is it after a downtrend it is flattening? Like, as you can see, it was in a downtrend when the price was falling, and slowly it started flattening, right? And from this particular area, when the price crossed this particular level, right, so there was a big base that was formed here, right? When the price started moving above this area, right, as you can see, the MA also started slowly inching towards, because again the moving average will always follow the price. It's a lagging indicator. So this was the particular area once where you could have taken entry, right? Because a low risk, because again we can't catch the exact bottom. So right, as you have seen, I'm not saying that you should enter here. I'm saying once that particular accumulation area or that particular range is broken, you will enter only after that, right? So our risk is also lower and the chances of success are also higher, right? So do you have any other questions? Yeah, you can. So, do we need to hold until stage three or there any other exit? So, I'd say you can exit partially as well, right? If you're in a decent profit, so I'd say just keep booking profits as well, right? Instead of just just waiting for the stage three, right? Yeah. You can find any consolidation period. Like the global spirit has already given a breakout right from the low, but it's not compulsion that the price will keep going up and up in a straight line. It will consolidate. It will definitely consolidate, and that is the area where you can enter if you have missed it right at the bottom level, right? So I'll show you some example that I caught and what was the logic behind that. So Cient, I also posted on Twitter as well if you remember, but I'll show you the post. So here again, if you see, the logic was simple. The price has declined from the top, right? The price has declined around 40% from the top, and but I could clearly see that the price has already formed a low, and the price is not breaking that particular low, even though it tested that particular level. I'll go to the weekly chart, right? So this was the low point, right? So how do we decide the low point? Again, what you have to do is price in a decline, right? Price is in a downtrend, right? So there will be a particular point where the short sellers will book a profit and it will bounce back, the price will bounce back. So for that time period, we'll consider that particular area as our bottom. So in case the price breaks that level and again starts the downward trend, so that level is invalid and we will again wait for a particular area from where the price bounces back, right? So as happened in this case, suppose we took this particular area as our bottom, and because the price bounced back from this level, and but again after few weeks the price again broke this particular level. So now we had a new low, right? So again we started considering this as the low point, and again the price tested that level but didn't break it, right? Again it went up, face resistance at the 200-day moving average level, again went down, but it never crossed this particular price. So now we have a range. When once the price has tested a certain level multiple times, at least for the 2-3 times, right? So once we can clearly see, even with a naked eye, the price has formed a particular range, right? So if I go to daily, right, you can clearly see the price has formed a particular range, right? So once you have identified, so once the price crosses that particular range, you can simply enter at that point, right? So your question was before as well, right? So this is another example which I personally traded. So as you said, if we miss at right at the beginning of the stage two, right, so we can enter again. So in this case, I didn't buy the stock right at this particular level, right. So once it started its upward trend, right, once it was confirmed that the price is in the uptrend, so again the price after that consolidated in this particular area, and once the price broke this particular level, around 995 something level, that was the area where I entered, right? So it's not like I am entering right at the this level, right? I can enter whenever the price consolidates and give me a low risk entry points, because that is the key, getting a low risk entry price. And again, even from that particular level, the price is up 30%, 32% from that particular level, right? So there's another example of Zydus Life Sciences, right? Yeah. So currently I have sold this one because again the price action is going bad. Let me remove these markings first. Yeah, so again if I go to the weekly chart, I've just applied this one 200-day moving average. So as you can see, the price declined from the top, around the price decline was around 50%. Again, I've considered multiple low areas as the price was going down from where the price bounced back. But again, this was the last particular low where the range formation started happening, right? The price bounced back from this level, so I'll be considering this as the low. And price came back, but there was a shakeout, right? So there was no follow up activity. So you need to observe the that particular area, the break of the support for next few days. See if it was a shakeout or it was a proper breakdown, right? So it was a shakeout in this case, right? Because how do I know it's a shakeout? Because the price came back within the range in within 2 days, right? So that means that was a shakeout. Again, the price started facing resistance at this particular level of 375, and again the price came down, but again bounced back from that particular level of 330, again faced resistance at 375 level, came down, but this time it has already started forming a higher lows. See, this was the low point at the during the shakeout, and after that another low at 330, and after that another low was around 340. So that means the stock has kind of started forming higher lows, and then there was this particular range breakout, but the price reversed from the 200 moving average and it came down, but again the price made a high low. This time the low point was 350, and again price started rising, and then there was this particular breakout above the 200 moving average, right? And again the price moved up and again came down, and again it so once we have confirmed that the stage 2 has begun, that happened in this case when the price gave a very strong breakout. Look at this region, and again after that I just waited because the price was again consolidating. There was no proper trend, and I entered right at this level when there was this gap breakout. Because again, once the price has started its stage to uptrend, there are many instances when the price will just consolidate for again for few weeks or even few months, as happened in this particular case right here. The price was just consolidating, so I identified a gap, and there was very strong. It was combined with the earnings event, right? So this was the particular area where I entered. So again the price consolidated. Suppose you missed at this particular level as well, just wait for the consolidation happening, and then again this was the area where I entered more. But again, so it wasn't that much of a successful trade because I didn't made much in this, although the position size was larger in this because the price was moving very slowly. So once I saw the price is also facing resistance at the middle level, and the choppiness was increasing, and then this was the particular area where I exited this particular stock. Okay, so your question is after breakout came back to range. So I didn't get your question, Vivek. You are asking about the CNT, right? You're talking about this particular breakout, right? I think so. You're talking about this region where the price again came back within range. So as I told you, I didn't enter at this particular point. But once, even though the price came back within the range, what you need to keep in mind that the price has started forming higher lows. So unless this previous low is broken, there's not a chance that the price will again go down as long as this particular low was not broken. So again, when you're using the stage, right, so you're catching a bigger move, so you need to keep your stop losses bigger, because once you are doing a positional trade, right, you have the intention of holding the trade for few weeks to few months, right? So that's why even though the price came back within range, so this was the pivot area that I was looking at. If it's not broken, that means the stage 2 uptrend has started beginning, and this was the particular entry area around 980 something. I hope your query is clear now. You can just type in the chat section. Okay, okay. Right, so these are few of the examples that I traded, and then we have the currently the ones that I'm holding. That one of them is Chrysler, right? Again, if you see, we go to the weekly chart, right? So the price was in a steep decline, right? The price fell around 50% again, right? So this was the particular area. So there was not much of a, long-term bottom formation. The price quickly reversed. So that is also a possibility where the price quickly reverses, right? So so I didn't enter right here because that looks just easy in the hindsight, that you can just enter right here. Okay, bottom one, yeah, and this bottom is very very small, right? So it looks easy in the hindsight, right? But again, but this was the particular area of interest because again, we have a declining trend line and there is 200 day moving average as well, and the price has been consolidating and the price has started forming higher lows. So once the price broke this particular area, so I entered. So currently I'm just holding this trade again because this is kind of a positional trend and I'm trying to catch a bigger move. But again, if the price breaks this particular low area here, this particular low area, then I'll know the structure has failed and the price will still uh, spend considerable time forming a base formation. Okay, Marksons. Okay, if I look at the Marksons, yeah. So if we look at the Marksons here, again, Marksons maybe a very similar kind of thing happened. The price declined from here around 96 level to around 60%. There was a 60% decline. So suppose, as I said, how to determine the low. First, I considered this as the low, and then this particular area, and then there was a shakeout. As I said, you need to observe the price action for the few days, few weeks, right? You need to observe the price action at that particular area. If there is a follow-up, that means that level is invalid. But again, if the price comes back within the range, that means that particular area is still valid. And after that, there was the gap up again, confirming that there is some buying buyers interest here. And look at the volume as well, right? So you also need to look at the volume, right? While the bottom is forming, if you see big volume spikes and the price also jumping, that means there is buyers interest. That means there is a chance that the institutions are getting in that particular stock. And after that, the price, this 200-day moving average started flattening and the price was consolidating in a particular range. And then there was this particular area of gap up, right? Since then the price started forming uptrend, and you can see it is currently moving within a channel. And again, it is currently near the bottom of the channel, and there's a very high possibility it has already bounced back 2-3 times. So there is a possibility that it may again bounce back from this particular level. So just keep these levels in the mind. So again, if I need to catch it right after this, so I would have waited for the stock to cross this particular area of 64 rupees before entering, right? I won't be risking to enter at this area because again, the price is confirming, right? It has started forming higher lows. So that is a very important thing, that the price should be start forming at least the higher lows, not the higher highs, but at least the higher lows. BPCL. Okay, okay. I look at the chart of the BPCL. Yeah, BPCL is also in a very, long-term kind of bottom formation here. If you see this particular range and it is coming out of this particular range. But again, I don't like these kind of particular setups because it's a very choppy stock. You can clearly see there is no clear uptrend. It goes up, it comes down. So I usually ignore these kind of stocks. So here is a list of the stocks, right? That is kind of that has formed the stage one and has begun its stage two, and like this example of Expelo solution, right? If you see, the price declined from around 1900 something to this level, and there was the decline of 38%. But again, once the price formed this particular low area here, the price tested it multiple times and the MA was also flattening. But again, after that, the price started forming a high lows, and this is the bigger range that we need to keep in mind. And currently the price is trying to break out, but there is no confirmation, right? So I'll share this I'll share this, this watch list that I have also in the comment section, and the screener that I was talking about, because you just need to run this screener daily and see what are the common names you are getting again and again, and then you'll have to physically go through the chart. Like this particular example of NIIT, NIT Limited. So I'm currently holding this one, right? So full disclaimer, don't take any of this as the, you know, your a recommendation. No, it's not a recommendation, it's just I'm explaining how you can catch these particular stock. So again, the logic was here, again the logic was same. The price has declined around 30 60% from that level, and once the price starts forming the higher lows, right, you just need to look at the particular range. You just need to identify if the price is forming range. So here it was very easy, because this was the resistance area where the price, was coming back again and again. The MA also started flattening, and at the same time the price started making high lows. So this is the particular area where I entered, right? So full disclaimer, but just don't take it as, recommendation. You can scale in, suppose you got in early in a positional trade, right? Suppose let's take an example of Mastech, right? So suppose you got it right at the beginning of the stage 2, right? So it is not it's not confirmed right now ki it has started its stage 2, because there's a very high possibility the price can again come back within the range. But suppose you were able to get in right at the beginning of the stage 2. So once the price starts moving like this above, so there will be instances where the price comes down or consolidates, and once the price breaks that particular consolidation area, right? So that is the particular area, like this particular area where you can scale in your positional trade. Once you have identified a particular area, don't go in fully, right? Let the price confirm, let the price move up, and start forming bases slowly, like happened in the case of Cient, right? Suppose you got in early at this particular point. See, the price came back within the range, but again it confirmed that it is forming higher lows. So once the price crosses this particular level, you can scale in. After that, again there was a consolidation, and again the price gave you an option to scale in, and then after that there was the earnings gap up, again an opportunity to scale in your positional trade. So this my positional trading strategy, like simply I like to use the 50 EMA. In case of positional, I like to use the 50 EMA using as the stop loss level, and that way I'll just trail it as long as the price keeps moving in the particular direction I want it to move. So not many people have joined today, so let's just take up your few queries, and then we'll end this stream. So I'm just waiting, just type in the queries that any questions that you have right now about what we have discussed till now. Okay, so no questions. So should we end the stream? Just type in the chat section. Yeah, so this is another very interesting setup that I came across, the Somani Ceramics. The price has formed a double bottom formation over the last few months from October. So that is around 5 7 at least 7 months. This kind of particular formation was going on, and the price gave a breakout. If you go down to daily as well, if you see the price was facing at resistance at this particular level of around 560 something, and then there was a small consolidation, and the 200 am also flattening, and then there was a breakout and a good follow-up activity, that too along with the volume. Look at the volume coming in again. Look at this particular area when the price was reversing from right from the bottom. Look at the volume coming in at that particular time as well. And last time, when there was a resistance, the price was facing resistance, the volume was very diminished, right? So that is another sign there is a buying interest or not. Okay, so let's end the session here. I hope you enjoyed the session, and do share it with other people. Yeah, I will post the screener in the description. Don't worry about that. I also post the, this particular watch list of mine in the description, because I will get nothing by hiding this particular information, right? It's not like if I share it, so I won't make money. Right, so let's end the today's session and share it with your friends as much as possible. And don't forget, we'll be doing this every single week, right? We'll be discussing new topics every single week. So do join the live session in the next Sunday as well, right? So take care everyone, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video as much as possible.